Welcome back. It's the Big Blue Banter, New York Giants football podcast. I'm Dan Schneier, joined as always my co-host Nick Falato. Another deflating Giants game. I have to fix that refrigerator over there and turn it into 2-11 as this team falters heading into the bye week. But my God, Nick, just as usual, the Giants not only lose a football game because they've lost 11 of the 13 they've played this year, which is insane, by the way, just to think about. We've covered that, but they do it in comical ways. The special teams is beyond bad as I've ever really seen it. And that's saying a lot considering it's been basically 15 years of incompetence on the special teams. That whole first half, like the Giants would have been in the game if they didn't have the special teams that they had. The fumble on the kickoff, this Koo looking like me out there with a freaking 60-degree wedge, chunking the fuck out of the ground as I fucking hit the ball 13 yards. And I'm angry at myself after a 265 yard drive straight in the fucking middle of the fairway.
I was maniacally laughing on the couch when that. Well, at first I was like, "Oh, what happened? Did he get hurt?" Like I was a little concerned, right? I was like, "Well, what's going on here?" And then they showed the slow motion replay of him planting that foot and then the foot coming forward and just sticking directly into the ground. I'm like, only the New York Giants would this happen to.
I've never seen a kicker miss like that. Actually, it's kind of wild. It's like when you're doing, I don't even want to compare it to golf, but it should be like, these are professional kickers. That's almost like if Bryson DeChambeau was setting up for like a 60-yard wedge shot and like literally hit the ground so bad that the ball didn't not even move like 13 yards like my chunk shots. It moved like 1 yard, like forward, just like, or barely, or came backwards. Like that's how crazy that was. I've never seen a kicker do that, but it's everything. I mean, I think for me, the big takeaway from this, and we'll talk about two things that are most important to me in this game, or the third is obviously we should talk about Dart every game, but the Carter situation. But first would be just Kafka. There was some thought that maybe he could right this ship for the rest of the season or prove to the Giants and us as fans that he deserves to potentially be a head coach candidate. I'm done with that idea completely in this one. He preached he wants to be aggressive and he just simply wasn't. The 4th and 1 decision was horrific early in the game. And then the punt down and late in the game when it was down 15 at the end, like you're just giving up the game at that point. You are not going to get the ball back with enough time there, and you're not going to get forced 3 and out anyway. So a lack of aggression, and he did have that amazing call on that Singletary touchdown. Like he comes up with these sweet designs that like we haven't seen. Like that's like a Ben Johnson level design. That's how good that was. But like, who cares? It took us from 30-7 to 30-15. The Giants ultimately ended up losing the game 33-15. Is that what it was in the final? I don't even know or care.
33-15.
Yeah. So that's the first one for me. Kafka just not feeling it. I think they just need to fully clean house and get new voices in here.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, after this one, this was the last attempt for Mike Kafka to secure a place in the mind of ownership. Like, hey, you guys got to consider me. Look what we did. Because now they're facing a bunch of scrub teams. You're facing the Washington Commanders. You're facing the Las Vegas Raiders down the stretch, the Minnesota Vikings, teams that are not that great. So if you get wins there and build momentum, it's like, how much does that matter when you're embarrassing yourself in the same fashion that the Brian Dable coach teams was embarrassing themselves?
Right.
I mean, just shooting yourselves in the foot, finding comical ways to lose football games. Your special teams is absolutely ass. We talked about Koo kicking the ground. You have a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown. Like the one time Jamie Gillen hits the punt well and pins them in the 5-yard line, the coverage isn't tight enough. And not only is the coverage not tight enough, Marcus Jones takes it 94 yards for a freaking touchdown. It's like, of course that's going to happen against the New York Football Giants. So yeah, more than likely they do need to clean house. Obviously, Kafka should not be considered for the head coaching job. I think it's safe to say that. Can he be considered, though, for an offensive coordinator? I think that is entirely dependent on whoever the head coach is and if the head coach is willing to work with him. I don't want anybody to be forced to work with somebody. It's going to be something we're going to talk about ad nauseum at this point, man. We're going to be talking about this a lot going into the offseason, who this head coach is going to be and what this means and what it means for Jackson Dart adjusting to a new offense. Because even in this game, man, like watching Jackson Dart, this was not a great performance by Jackson Dart by any stretch of the imagination, but he's checking out of plays and putting the Giants offense into advantageous looks against the defense that he's going against, right? Like that is advanced level quarterbacking that we saw him do on the Darius Slayton touchdown, where he saw the blitz look, he diagnosed it, got him into something else. He also did that for a Devin Singletary run that went for like 6 yards against an advantageous look against too high.
Yep.
Like he understands football and he understands this offense. So there is merit to the argument that you want to keep that continuity, but it's not going to be as a head coach for Mike Kafka, it doesn't appear.
And most likely not as an offensive coordinator either. He also, Dart had some mistakes in this game, but he also had some really good plays that didn't go down. The Theo Johnson throw into the end zone, that was a really nice throw after he navigated the pocket, moved up and down, still did a great job of that in this game, despite, coaches telling him, don't run or all these things, don't try not to take these hits. And Johnson just didn't catch the football.
That was the Theo Johnson that we've seen up until
unable to
3 games ago.
He made a great catch later in the game, I thought, to open the second half. And then the 2-point conversion by Dart was a really magical play by him. I mean, their play was blown dead. It was off script. The on script version of that play was completely solved by the Patriots, and he had to kind of maneuver around that pocket and then use that like 3/4 baseball arm throw to get that ball across and locate Slayton. Generally speaking, he had a nice like in breaking route to Slayton early in the game. The ball placement was still pretty good in this game. A couple balls that he'd love to have back, but I mean, you watch guys like Bo Nix every week, and you see way more inaccurate throws from a player like that than a player like Jackson Dart. He's lauded as like a great second-year quarterback by some. They're 11-2 or whatnot, so you can win football games for sure. Level of play, but I just feel, man, like everything needs to be cleaned out. It's not just Kafka not getting a chance. They really have to consider, doubling, moving back, reconsidering the Joe Shane thing, because it just is what it is at this point. Like, they're a 2-11 team, losing in embarrassing ways. It's not like a one-time loss in an embarrassing way. It's like over and over. And he's going to have to face the media this next week. I think it's tomorrow, actually, as the Giants head into the bye week. And Joe Shane, this is not what he wanted. He wanted to come off a big win here and talk to the media and use it, rest on that laurel. But he's got nothing to rest on at this point other than the great young nucleus that John Mara talks about that we don't, really see. I mean, you don't win football games with 3 or 4 great young players. You win football games with teams with 53 players or whatever it may be that contribute on a weekly basis. That's what you're seeing with the Patriots, that we're seeing with these teams that win, the Broncos 11-2. So we don't have a good team, even if we do have a good young nucleus.
No, we do not have a good team, but the young nucleus does mean something. But I don't even know how much of this should just be attributed to Joe Shane when the primary thing that you're looking at is Jackson Dart, and that was a Dable guy, right? Like, that's what we're most excited about. And you're not going to hear me argue to retain Joe Shane. Like, Joe Shane, he is just as culpable as Brian Dable is for the mess that the New York Giants are in at this point. And we'll have to wait and see what ownership is going to do, or, it's all up in the air at this point. We do not know. But as for the football that we just witnessed, this 33-15 loss by the New York Giants ahead of this bye week, this is a much needed bye week, but it sucks, man. It sucks watching a team go out there and it's those same exact issues. You see guys like Brian Burns, just like after the first half, just sitting for like 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes on the sideline, just like with his head down, just like, how can we fix this? Like, the leaders on this team, how can we fix this situation? It's like, you don't have the personnel to fix it. You don't have the infrastructure to fix it. This is just going to be another season of Giants Nation stomaching a bunch of bullshit and waiting for a draft to which we hope there is some gold at the end of that draft. And you know what? We have located some good young players, but that gold has not been turned into a currency that we can spend for happiness or whatever, like, because we're not winning football games. We're still a shitty freaking team. And Joe Shane is a common denominator to that.
Losing an insane amount of football games too. I mean, the Giants have just lost so many games in this tenure of Joe Shane, and now no longer Brian Dable, but Kafka as well in the mix there for the entire tenure. But yeah, man, you're right. It's just not a winning product. It's not, and I worry about like that moment on the sideline with Brian Burns at halftime, because the Giants have him locked up and he's an all-pro player this year, and they have Dexter Lawrence locked up as well. But, even if they're technically and literally not checked out from this team, psychologically, you can lose these players. Like, it feels to me very much so like they've somewhat lost Dexter Lawrence, psychologically speaking. I don't want to lose Brian Burns the same way when you start to go through these seasons year after year of these kind of losing. And it's not just the losing, like, it's the losing in the ways they're losing, finding these new special teams errors or just stupid mistakes that cause them to lose. And if you lose those players, it's very hard to get them back. Speaking of that, though, like, do you stand along the lines as we transition to the Abdul Carter situation. He was benched again for something we don't know about, potentially a missed team meeting, potentially something else. We don't know for sure what actually went down, but he missed even more series than the last time he was benched for one series. This game, he was benched, I think, for multiple
It was the
series.
first quarter.
It was the whole first quarter,
Yeah.
I guess as first offense was a series, second offense was a whole quarter. There really shouldn't be a second offense. Do you look at it? I saw some people tweeting like, we need better leaders on this team, Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. To me, I look at this on the individual level more so. Me personally, I think Abdul Carter needs to be a man. He needs to be responsible for his own damn self.
I think it's both. I think if you have, Ray Lewis or just name any
True.
like Michael Strahan, right? Justin Tuck, and you're a young player entering that locker room, you're probably not missing those meetings.
True.
You know what I mean? Probably not missing those meetings, but it is still on Abdul Carter. Ultimately, he is the professional. He's getting paid millions of dollars to be on time. Be on freaking time, kid. I fully support the New York Giants coaching staff, Mike Kafka, Charlie Bullen, for punishing Abdul Carter, because you also probably know that this isn't even the second time it's happened. This is the second time us peons are being made aware of it. I'm sure this has probably happened quite a few times for this to get leaked out and for him to eventually get benched like he did in the first drive last game, right? Or 2 games ago, whenever that was. So this has happened. This is a trend now. It's time to grow up. It's time to put our big boy pants on. You're getting paid a lot of money to play a game. Let's go out there and play that game and be where we need to be. No more excuses with that type of bullshit, especially when we suck and we're not winning football games. I have no tolerance for that type of those types of actions from a professional athlete. Be a freaking man and play like one. And I'm glad he got a sack in this one, but we need him to show up for his freaking meetings and not being a distraction, a negative distraction for not just the New York Giants on the outside, but players on the in. Like, a lot of us have probably been in locker room. Like, this is stuff that the players are talking about, right? Like, well, where is he? Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, let's see if they hold him accountable, and they don't hold him accountable. Then you lose respect for your leaders. Like, that's a toxic thing that you do not want to assign yourself to. You don't want to be that type of player. So don't be, please, if you're listening to this, which you're not.
Yeah, but I agree with you. It's a personal issue for me. I mean, generally speaking, I haven't been. It was better in the beginning of the year, but I haven't been too enthused with what I've seen from Carter in general. I mean, he's been fine. There are some reps that look good. Not many that I expect. I expected a lot more dominance from him. I expected a lot more athleticism on the field and explosiveness and just difference making, change of directions, everything.
I think I see the explosiveness and the quickness. Like that is what I see. What I don't see is somebody who knows how to fully leverage that yet. Somebody who doesn't really know how to fully harness those athletic traits that he has to be a consistent nuisance for the opponent. Right. Like, that's what I don't see. Cause I'll see it every now and again. I'll like flash it and you're like, oh, there it is.
I felt like at Penn State, though, when I watched that tape, he would have moments that really took over games for that defense and moments where he was, generally speaking, just so much more athletic than the players he was playing against. And that was the same case for when I watched Micah Parsons on tape. But for Micah, it translated 1-to-1 right away at the NFL level. For Carter, it has not. And that to me means something.
Yeah, it definitely means something. I don't think Abdul Carter is quite Micah Parsons. No, I think he's better than I think he's better than what we've seen, though. And I also, with this track record that we're seeing of him getting benched for reportedly not being where he's supposed to be, that, we got to deduce our own opinions on this. That kind of insinuates that maybe you're not working as hard as you could be. If you're not where you need to be, when you need to be there, to the point where the team is holding you accountable and the entire NFL world is going to give the team shit, or just at least discuss that they're holding you accountable. They're going to make it a media thing for this. Then you probably haven't done that several different times. So maybe you're not putting the work in that you need to put in. But guess what? Like I said a little bit earlier, it's a big boy sport right now. Let's put the work in and get out there and play some football and be where we need to be. No tolerance for that type of shit. Yeah,
no, you're right. And definitely a situation where he could take a big leap in year 2 as the things that you mentioned, Nick, get better, the speed of the game and everything like that. I just feel like I expected to see a different level of athleticism out there personally than what I'm seeing from him. We have a matchup. Feels like the second or third matchup we've had this year against backup offensive tackles. The Patriots are down. They're starting left tackle, starting left guard. These are the matchups where Carter is supposed to be able to dominate these backup players. Like, to me, at least, like, I don't care about how much you need to learn. Like, rookie year, Micah Parsons would dominate a matchup like this, and as would a lot of, touted players who have been drafted in his position.
Yeah, I look, I'm not disagreeing with that. I will say though that the Giants defense in general sucks so bad that like you going up against that matchup, it's not going to be maximized because the opposing offense can do so many different things to you that like you need to be cognizant of, right? Like you need to be aware of the fact that, oh man, they're going to run the football here. I might need to cheat in this side because this guy's on this double team. And like there's a lot of other things that are going on through maybe the young player's mind because they're ripping off 8-9 yard runs with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Anderson, like things like that. But your overall point stands, like, and I completely agree that we need to get more from Abdul Carter. But yeah,
if we can, I am not as sold that we will as I was when we drafted him personally. It's not I'm ruling him out, but I just year one, I expect if you're going to be what I think you could have been, like at Micah Parsons level player, I feel like we would have been seeing more flashes of it already.
Yeah. Personally. I mean, that could be the case for sure.
Like the play where he breaks contain, like, and Drake May outruns him for the first down. I get it that May kind of like has the angle on his step, but like, dude, what I thought he would be is somebody who clearly could track down Drake May on that play and stop him from getting the first down.
Yeah, like I want to see the exact angle. I want to see the exact angle.
I'm sure May had the angle on him, man, but it's just like I just expect it. Like if he's the player that I think he could be, or that he was billed to be potentially, or look to be on Penn State. Like that's the difference though. Like I always say it, like that Big Ten film, man, it's a very slow brand of football in the Big Ten.
It is. Yeah. Penn State usually, it's not quite Wisconsin with that. And I'm just taking shots at Wisconsin because it's my guy over there, but yeah, no,
we love drafting Big Ten guys too. I mean, we've done it a lot. Schmitz, Carter, Newbin.
Yeah. Yeah, Newbin. Oh my god, no. Newbin's one that really checks out when it comes to this. Like even the play, like with Tyler Newbin, man, like it's the athletic deficiencies, and then it's like the plays where he actually executes his assignments, but he's getting like thrown to the ground violently along the sideline by Ramondre Stevenson. You're like, oh man, you got him out of bounds. That's good. Man, that's kind of an ugly look. And I feel like that's just basically a microcosm of his entire second season in the National Football League when he does actually execute the assignment. But as Javon Holland said last week, man, it sucks that sometimes, and it wasn't as prevalent in this game, you have running backs running full speed at the safeties, and the safeties are put in this position where they have to come downhill and then adjust their angle based on where the running back angles, because nobody up front is slowing down these backs at all, because the linebackers and the defensive line are just getting blown off the line of scrimmage and located by the climbing line. It's the defense sucks, man. I don't even know what Charlie Bowen is supposed to what he's supposed to do.
And I want to be clear, just because I see it in the comments, like this isn't me saying I pissed they drafted Carter at 3 or anything like that. I'm happy they did it. I still think he's going to be a very good player. I'm just talking about, I thought I'd see a little bit more difference making ability in year one. That's all there is to it. And as far as Newbin goes, I mean, as you talked about, like that may be a situation where the game speed just never catches up for him. Yeah. Or he never catches up to the game speed, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that could be the case, man. But I'm trying
it would be crazy if we went him and Banks in consecutive drafts and got literally nothing out of either of them, and they're 2 DBs.
I know. Yeah. Holy shit, dude, this roster. When you look at the roster and think about that, and then you're like, oh, well, it's not like they had anybody on the roster prior to that. And you're like, well, this guy named Xavier McKinney and this other guy named Julian Love. They were pretty good.
Yeah, it is crazy that they just moved on from those two.
Yeah, man. But I'm trying to like come up with some positives from this. It was one of those games where early on you're like, oh, it's going to be one of these. It was a slower game. It wasn't like a ton of plays, wasn't a ton of flair. But after 2 drives, the Patriots were up 10-0. Like they got 10 points with one offensive drive because of the punt return, And then you have these crazy like special teams errors down the stretch. I mean, it sucks that Olszewski got concussed, but he fumbled. But prior to that, you had a missed field goal, or not even one. It was a Jamie Gillen getting sacked play because of what happened. So you're just talking about like
forgot that happened too. That's crazy.
Yeah, these maddening. We
had 2 field goals that we screwed up.
It's crazy, man. But
Oh man. And you know, I'll say this as far as Kafka goes, like the fact that we entered this game with the highest percentage of called runs on first down in the NFL, the lowest percentage of pass called, and then he just continues to do it I feel like there was one time the Slayton touchdown where he called a pass on first down and it led to a touchdown and we went empty out of the gun. But other than that, it's just like, Jesus Christ, man, you really think this is going to work when you're you're just running the ball every first down? Like, in a league where passing is so much more valuable than running, it's just I'm happy to move. I think he comes up with some great calls at great times. The screen was a good call to get us out of second and long, like stupid things like that. The touchdown, obviously, but like I'll be happy to get out of this like run first every single first down mentality, lead the NFL and run calls on first down.
yeah, same here. That's not exciting. It's predictable. And it also,
Yeah.
sucks when the Giants don't really run the football well.
Yeah.
Like they're not running the football well either. So it's
No.
like they get
Right, we're not
1
a
yard
team.
and then you're in 2nd and 9, right? And it's
Huh.
like, I like to see how many of those were RPOs though, at the same time.
I don't even know what his plan was like in the second half. He came out running. We had one drive where we ran like a million times and then scored. We burned so much clock. And then like he was like, what was he expecting was going to happen after that? Like we were already running out of time. And we had to play like a perfect game from that point on, like force like a 3 and out every time and then run and score again. And then maybe you had one final chance. Like that whole game plan in the second half to me, just from a time management standpoint, didn't make much sense.
I mean, after that first drive, it was basically done anyways. You're down 30-7 going into halftime, and then you get the football and the Giants get the ball 4 minutes off the clock, 33 yards, all they pick up on 7 plays, and they go for it on the 4th and 6, and Dart misses Theo Johnson. And it's like, oh man, 30-7. And then the Patriots go right down the field, 13 play, 35-yard drive, just methodical. But they missed the field goal, keep the game 30-7. Giants make it 30-15. That's where it gets a little exciting. You're like, oh, maybe the New York Giants. And then they never did anything after that.
Nope. They did not. All right. Want to do some supers?
We can get to some supers. Yes, we have some here. It's a lively comment section in here. Very entertaining.
People are going at each other. It's finally, we've hit the breaking point. We're at 2-12. There's haters for hating us, Nick, in the comments, which we'll get to, and that's fun. And that's fine. And there's and then there's commenters hating on each other. This is not a thing. Usually the Big Blue Banter community is very
maybe unified
community. Yes.
Unified
right now they're going at each other. They're going at us. Look, I get it. At some point, something has to give. People that the emotions are high, the tensions are high.
That Nick Falato guy sucks. All right, here we go. T. Douglas, thank you so much. It's kind of impressive how many different ways the Giants find to be garbage. Yeah,
it is weird. It is crazy how they find new ways. It seems like every week. I think that's part of why. Like, I think that's a big part of why you see Brian Burns on the sideline with his head down at halftime, not leaving with the team. I think it's just not only are they losing, they're losing in ways that just don't seem to make much sense. Also, why I want them to clean house at GM.
Exactly. No complimentary football. We've been saying it forever now. No complimentary football. And even when they put like a drive or two together on offense and defense, then the special teams will falter. And it's just like, oh, you guys suck too. Like, you're just out there to kick the ball. That's like your only job is to do this. Like, that's your one job as a football player is to kick the freaking football. And you failed at doing that, like in such a like mind-numbing way. I think maybe I saw people in the comments saying that that it was the hold or something. And to me, it looked like the hold that looked perfectly kickable, right? Like
just missed it.
Yeah, his foot went into the ground. It's supposed to swing like this, and it goes into the ground.
I think he just had like a brain fart or something.
I'm not sure what happened.
It's very odd. He's kicked so many field goals and extra points in his life. Like, I doubt that's ever happened in his career. Do you think that's ever happened to Young Wei before today? I have never seen it.
I can't imagine. I tweeted something like that. It's like this guy, like thousands of time this guy has lined up to kick field goals. Right?
Yeah.
How many times has his foot gone directly into the dirt?
I think it's one. I think it's the first and only time.
So he must have thought maybe that the hold was all like there must have been something that gave him like consternation to be like, oh no, what's going on here? And then imagine being Jamie
literally
Gillen.
A golfer moment. It was a bad golfer moment.
Imagine being Jamie Gillen. You catch it, you're like, all right, oh, I got it. Okay, the snap was all right. I got it. I set it down, and then you just see his foot going to the ground. Like, I'm gonna die. I'm holding the football. Everyone's gonna kill me.
I know. And then he like rolled out, like trying to like buy himself time to pass, and he's like, "Crap, there are no eligible receivers downfield here."
Well, who would be the most eligible? You know,
I don't think there is anybody eligible on that. Or there might be somebody who's knocked downfield at that point.
It's just
embarrassing.
T. Douglas, thank you again. Says head coach has changed. DC has changed. Much needed, but the team still sucks. That's an indictment on the general manager.
Well
Yeah.
said.
It's an indictment on a lot of different things. This entire operation, it's cooked, as the kids say. The operation's done. It's been barbecued. It's been marinated. It's everything. Like, we need something different. And it sucks, man, because there is such a negative cloud over the New York Giants right now, Dan. And if Joe Schoen is retained, like, that negative cloud is going to persist
totally.
Through,
and I think
right?
Mara's well aware of that, by the way, Nick.
Which, like, the reason why I'm bringing this up, though, is I do think, like, Mara, like, I think he is aware of all that. I think he's aware of a lot of the conversations about his family. I think he's aware of a lot of that shit.
True.
And if the Giants just, like, win one game from here on out and they finish with 3 wins on the season, like, I don't think Joe Schoen makes it through. Like, I have to imagine, you know what I mean? Like, that I have to imagine that even with all of those changes, Mara will be like, I just got to rip this tourniquet off and let this stuff bleed out and go in another direction here, because this isn't working out. But
I think so. I think I would say it's greater than a 50% chance that Joe Schoen is fired at this current stage. I agree with you on that. The question is, like, do they have anything in place? Like, is there any plan? Like, I would hope that they're competent enough ownership that they've looked at this thing like, we can't just lock in Joe Schoen at the moment they fire Brian Daboll. And instead they were thinking, we'll put out the statement, we believe in Schoen, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, we have plan A and plan B. Plan A is Joe Schoen and the Giants win some games with Kafka down the stretch and we just ride with their statement. Or plan B, which is they just keep losing in horrible ways and we have someone else in the wings at GM. I just don't know, like, if they've actually done the work and the legwork to set up a new GM for this team, and they're going to be running out of time at that point. It's a bad situation, honestly.
Excuse me, sorry. Unless it's Brandon Brown or somebody from within the organization.
Right. That's how you do it,
which could be an option. And I don't know, I don't know his level of competency relative to Joe Schoen. Like, I have no idea, right? So, but that would be some red meat, I guess you could say, for the fan base. But I don't know if that's how.
I think some fans will probably not even be happy with that. They just want the clean slate, cut off the chicken's head. And that's not even a good analogy. I just put that out there. But, redo this thing. But I'll say this, Nick, even if the Giants do clean house and get rid of Schoen and Brandon Brown and hire someone else for GM, they have a long way to go with this roster, man. And that's the problem that I foresee. Now, you can fix it somewhat fast. I feel like Belichick left the Patriots roster in a really horrific spot.
Yeah.
And the Patriots just did what we've suggested the Giants may do this offseason. We're hoping the Giants may do. They kicked the can. They signed, I just saw it tonight when they were showing the graphic on ESPN, Nick, like 6 contracts with a ton of guaranteed money, a linebacker, Milton Williams, a couple, an offensive line. Like, they just dished out a ton of money in this past free agency, understanding they're on Drake May's rookie contract, and they helped turn that team around fast. The Giants are going to have to do the same thing. Like, they're in they have no real options at this point. You can't just trot into next season with a few off-season moves. This is a dire situation from a roster standpoint, dude. Like, they need to get a lot of different players in here playing a lot of really important roles that normally wouldn't be accomplished in one offseason. They basically have to fast forward 2 off seasons into one off season. I see Triple Pat says, good Lord, no, don't overspend in free agency. Like, the Giants don't have any options, Pat. Like, the Patriots overspent free agency and it worked. And the Giants at this point have no option. They can't trot into next year with Deonte Banks playing a big role again, or you know what I mean? Like, these guys that are out there playing snaps cannot play snaps again, or we're going to get the same results.
They're going to double down and continue the spending. And there's merit to that argument, even though we don't love that way of building. But it's like, we're already in this position where we have a rookie quarterback who we like. We want to give him a competitive team.
Right.
We need a quick fix here. What's the quickest way to
fix? Like, they just need the fix is not a 1 or 2 move fix at this point.
No, I know, but I mean, just signing people in free agency to play key and crucial roles, a la what Paulson Adebo is attempting to do for the New York Giants right now. That might be the way to try to fix this in a quick manner, because the draft, look, that's going to take some time. You got to land on those picks. Those picks got to pan out. We've seen that not work in the Giants' favor a lot recently. And it's not the most ideal way to build a roster, but it might be the way to do it with a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yeah. And in general, I kind of stand by what, Arenda has said in here, which is, I'm not all that worried about the salary cap. The Giants have plenty of space. If you look at their 2027 and 2028 salary cap situations, they have like hundreds of millions. The cap is going to continue to go up. The cap in general is pretty bullshit, to be completely honest, if you really look at it. Now, I've heard the NFL is finally going to crack down on it in the next CBA, and they're going to like make the cap real because they don't want to have this happen anymore where like the Eagles and Chiefs just make a mockery of the cap. But as long as it is it is right now in place, the Giants need to take advantage of that and make their own mockery of the cap. Now, the problem I see, Nick, with that is there is some speculation that the reason the Giants have never really made a mockery of the cap, and by that I mean using void years, is because the owners don't have a lot of cash flow. To be able to do that, you need to have a lot of cash flow as an owner, and you need to be willing to spend up front. I'm not necessarily sure the Giants are willing to do that.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting take. That's a little bit beyond my comprehension at the moment, but I would love to read more about that if anybody has information on it. Barry Gooster, thank you. Having a hard time being excited about Dart's potential because of the toxic stench of embarrassing loser culture festering this franchise.
Yeah.
No, I think that's well written, and I appreciate it. And I'm still excited though about Dart's potential, even with all that. It's more so for the hope that Dart can rise above all that. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a certainty. I don't know, but I'm hoping that a player like him, and with a new coach, a new fresh look, a new way of teaching, a new way of just running the organization, that the Giants can finally get themselves out of the mire that they've been in for the last decade plus.
And that would have to start next year because this one obviously is done. And, you know, the point is taken well, Barry Gooster, which is essentially, how could the Giants be in this position where they hit on their quarterback, potentially the rookie quarterback? He's having a great year. He scores touchdowns every week. He has 18 in 8 games, and yet they're the same dumpster fire. It's really, truly incredible that it's been outweighed. Like the impressive start to Jackson Dart's career have somehow been outweighed by the Giants' ineptitude, which is really unbelievable.
Yes, it is. Clarence, thanks, bud. How you doing? Hope the Giants are quietly scouting general managers behind Shane's back, because there's no justification for bringing him back if they lose out or close to it. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. AFC 5253, thank you so much. Said again, Dart's the only reason why I watch these games. I don't care if they hire an offensive or a defensive head coach, but they really need an offensive mind to work with Dart. New England was scheming guys open all game. Sure. Yeah, I do agree with that as well. And if that is Mike Kafka, like I wouldn't be opposed to that as long as the offense still respects him. Like I don't know how much like I can actually come away with that type of opinion on this. I'm not in that locker room. The play would suggest that it's not great, but I also think that's a talent issue. I think there's a lot of variables that go into why the Giants suck right now. Acid Night 1, thanks, bud. Says the team is pathetic, but it's still fun watching Dart. Tanking is dumb, but in theory, winning the games at this point is useless. Better draft pick to help the team next year more than a garbage win. Yeah, that's something that Dan and I have been talking about for quite a while. But yeah,
they're going to beat the Raiders, the Giants, though. I'm almost positive of that one.
I can see the Giants winning 2 more games, finishing.
Yeah, I think they'll beat the Raiders and the Vikings, potentially Washington, but I'm not going to say that. But I think the Washington will bring back Jaden Daniels, so I don't know how that's going to go.
It does seem like that might actually happen, which, that might be a little tough to deal with for this New York Giants team. Javier, thanks, bud, says, coup, just another embarrassing moment this season. Yeah, that was something. That was something. It doesn't matter who the kicker is. The New York Giants, there's something crazy and weird is going to happen, whether it's Graham Gano, Jude McAtamney, or Young Waku. I guess he's kicking the ground. What the hell?
No matter who's kicking.
Barry Gooster. I mean, seriously, though, this kicking stuff has been crazy. You go back like the last decade, back to the Josh Brown situation, right? Like you had like really wild shit with this New York Giants franchise and the kicker. I can't believe they've had like some young kickers that have like went on and been successful in other places, like Brendan McManus and players like that. But anyways, man, it's very frustrating. I just want to get like a kicker who can be relied on to, I don't know, do his job. That's pretty simple, and be healthy and not be 40 years old.
Yeah, it should be simple to have a kicker that we can rely on.
Like that, like no one's like, oh, you know what? Like
we're not looking for Brandon Aubrey here. We're just looking for like a decent kicker who's like not gonna slam his foot into the ground.
Yeah, I agree. But the fact that like even Brandon Aubrey, wasn't he like a Wasn't he like a
Oh, yeah,
found
they
on
found him out of
YouTube or
nowhere. He's
something?
a soccer
Yeah.
player that his
Or
wife's like, "Go try out to be an NFL kicker." Now he's the best kicker in the NFL.
dude, we know. So we have a mutual friend who is a soccer player who could kick far.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get his ass over there to try
Get
out for
him
the
to try out for
Giants.
the Giants.
Yeah, get out there, Christian. Very Gooster again says many teams Sunday eked out wins against far better teams, and of course we're the team that can't do it, and I'm so effing tired of it. Not only could we not do it, we weren't even in a position to do it. Like last week, you could say like with Detroit, like you went into overtime, like the Giants could have realistically won that game. This one, it was like right from the get go. It's like, nah, the Patriots are they're owning this game, and that was never capitulated at all by them. Igor, thank you so much. 4th and 8, punt down, 15, as bad as Judge's quarterback sneak.
Maybe not quite as bad as that. Nothing will be as bad as that.
Yeah, when Judge did that, it like the entire locker room was like, no. Like,
yeah,
no. They did the Jonah Hill meme, like, no.
Yeah.
Like, and I like at the time, and I still like understood why he did it. The previous week, there was a pick 6 thrown against Chicago. You have Jake Fromm. You didn't trust your offensive line. It's just like, you can't do that. Run a halfback dive. Run a play. You
just throw a screen pass, like just don't do a swing pass, like anything.
Jeez, man. Dan, we have covered some shitty football.
I know,
my
man.
friend.
It's crazy,
It's crazy.
We've covered such bad football. It's just insane.
Clarence, thank you. He says, I swear this entire team has a humiliation fetish. Ah, man. Yeah, that does suck. It does seem like it too, right? I don't think they like to be humiliated, though. So I don't know if it'd be a fetish from their part, but it just seems like they're often getting, I think it's against their will that they're being humiliated, you know? Frank, thank you. Says, appreciate you guys. Thanks for the weekly therapy. Yes, we look to be.
Thank you, Frank Nardi. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. We look to be a cathartic entity for our listeners and for the Giants fan base, because this is the commiseration station, and boy, have we commiserated over the years. Igor, thank you. Says, I don't know about your guys' praise of Dart. The game felt like your average meh Jones game. Nothing terrible, nothing particularly good. Yeah, Igor, I don't know if I don't
think we praised him.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I mean, I like the throw to Theo Johnson. I like the red zone 2-point conversion play. I liked a few of the other throws he made to Theo Johnson in the second half. I would say this, though. I mean, like, you could look up the game logs. I don't really think the average Jones game was as you may be remembering it. A lot of those average meaning like the median Jones games we got were like, we're not. I mean, just go look at the game logs yourself. Jones obviously having a lot of success with the Colts. He's great now, whatever. But like those games with the Giants, a lot of those were like those middle Jones games were like, we're not even throwing past the sticks on third down type games. Like we wouldn't get like that throw to Theo or that 2-point. It would be like nothing in a whole game.
I mean, and I opened the show saying like I didn't think Jackson Dart played particularly well today. Like I mean, this was one of his worst.
This might be his worst game on tape, right? Exactly. We'll find out when we watch the tape, but this may be his worst game. So I don't think we're praising that.
Igor also says the hit on Dart on the sidelines was clearly made with malice. It may have been legal, but it was dirty. Dart was clearly going out of bounds. Like I might have an unpopular opinion here, Igor, but like if I'm a defender and a quarterback is playing that game where he's like, hey, I might like lower my shoulder on you and I'm still in bounds. I'm trying to get every extra yard and you're still in the legal bounds to be hit. I am going to do everything in my power to hit you as hard as I can in a legal fashion. Like that, the quarterback needs to be smart. The quarterback needs to get out of bounds. Jackson Dart, I love the gumption. I love the tenacity of his play and all that, but like he's taking those hits and that's on him. That fight that was
he wanted to get the third down. He wanted to get to the first down marker, but it was only second down. That was why it was stupid. And I think Russell Wilson talked to him about that. Like, dude, you don't need to get all of that on this one run. Like you can set up for 3rd and 1 and we'll be fine.
Yeah, no,
3rd and 2, whatever it would have been.
Like the defense is already hamstrung by the penalties that benefit the offense. Like you're a runner in that regard. You should.
Oh yeah, the defensive player there is like licking his chops for that opportunity to lay him out.
Absolutely. Hopper, Dan Snyder's long lost. Dan
Schneier needs to calm down about how he makes himself out to be a top NFL draft guru. Talk about your Kayvon over Hutchinson tape, Mr. Snyder. Well, first of all, and most importantly, I have never once and will never, and if I have led you astray in the past to believe that, make myself out to be a top NFL draft guru. I am not an NFL draft guru. I am not even an NFL draft Nick. I'm just somebody here who follows the Giants, and Nick and I try to watch the tape, read about these players, look into their background, and look into the analytics, combine all it together, and have takes on the draft. I am going to get so many wrong. Even the top NFL draft gurus, Hopper, are going to get some wrong. And yes, I did think that Kayvon had more upside than Hutchinson. I got that wrong. I I got Drake May right. There's going to be misses and hits all the time. I am not a top NFL draft guru. I do not even think I'm an NFL draft guru in general. So let me make that clear, buddy. But I understand how you are and how maybe I come off sometimes as being confident on some things or too confident on some takes. For regards to Thibodeau and Hutchinson, I just thought Thibodeau had more upside. Clearly, that's not going to come out correctly. Hutchinson's a better football player than Thibodeau for sure.
But it's not like Kayvon is some like lost cause. Kayvon's a fine player. I'd like to say this though about Hopper. Hopper, I appreciate how you came at one of us, but you still gave us like $10. So you didn't do like the 199
Thank
thing.
You for the donation.
Thank you for the donation. Yeah, Dan sucks. Fuck that guy. No, I'm just joking. But seriously.
Yeah, keep coming at me. Just send her the money. Just kidding.
Thank you for the donation. And Dan's cool. Let's lay off there. Bear 3156, thank you so much, says, hot take, I'm okay with not picking a wide receiver in the first or even the second. I think we need a linebacker, someone to help run defense, and maybe a DT second. I mean, yeah, it depends on how the draft goes and all that and how deep the drafts are. I'm not familiar quite yet on how deep this draft is at all of those positions, but I mean, your point stands that the Giants desperately need like an infusion of athletic like a Carson Schwarzenegger. That's what they need. Like, sure. Basically what they need at the second level. And then defensive tackle.
We loved him in this last draft. It's too bad we didn't have a chance to get him. We went for Dart, which is fine.
Yeah, it's but we definitely need we need big, strong defensive linemen who can anchor against.
I'll say this though, with regards to what you said, Bear, like theoretically, I agree with you. Honestly, like if I was up to me and I could say you have prospect A, prospect B, prospect C, they are all the exact same player. One plays receiver, one plays DT, one plays linebacker. I'm with you, but that's just not how it works. Nick and I have made this clear throughout our years covering the draft. We draft players, not positions. So if they get to that first round and there is no linebacker worth taking at that pick or D tackle worth taking at that pick, it's going to be a receiver if he's the best player on the board and vice versa. So we're just drafting players, not positions.
Interesting. Let's do something real quick just to build off Bear's question because we're having fun here. If the Giants could land a top 5 player at any one of these 3 positions in the first round, and this player will develop into being a top 5 at their respective positions, which one would you want to land? And would it be wide receiver to pair with Malik, who is already in that conversation, or would you be like, imagine getting just like a top 5 defensive tackle next to Dexter Lawrence, or if even for linebacker, we'll say it's like a top 2. You're getting like, you're getting like a Luke Kuechly, like not quite Luke Kuechly, like a Roquan Smith in his prime type of linebacker.
That's a great question.
Chat, you guys get involved with this too.
And I think you can say not Luke Kuechly because he's Hall of Famer, but like Fred Warner, I think is fair to say. Maybe like a Fred Warner, and that may be too bullet, like that's maybe too aggressive. But if it's either like I don't know, like I personally just like watching the Cowboys these last 2 weeks with Quinnen Williams versus the Cowboys without Quinnen Williams are just so convinced that like those interior defensive linemen change everything in the NFL. And
Logan too. Logan Wilson's out there balling too.
Yeah, true. But it's been a lot of Quinnen. I think is the main reason they've turned that defense around. And then you could also have the Bengals situation where you have like a Higgins Chase. We would have like a Neighbors, whatever it may be. I don't think it would be receiver for me. I think it would be DT or linebacker. It's tough for me to not go DT ever because I just think that's a point of attack, and I'm starting to believe in it so much more. So I think it's DT for me.
Yeah, like say it was like a Quinnen, someone's going to become like a Quinnen Williams. And you have him next to Dex, and now you're not getting bitched at every double team.
Even not like a Quinnen. Say it's like a Vita Vea with a little bit more pass rushing chops. Like, what would that do for our run defense? Like, what would it do for the whole front and the physicality? Like, it just changes the whole way you can play defense and how effective you are.
You said that perfectly. It just changes the whole way you can play defense, and it really
does. The linebackers up there too.
Yeah. Exactly. Especially we know that as Giant fans, but I think I'm going defensive tackle. All right. Michael, thank you so much. Says it is disgusting that Joe Shane will likely be back after going 2-11 in year 4. But hey, at least we have modernized the building or whatever. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's so funny that the bar was set so low since Dave Gettleman was like working with like writing things out and had like his big notebooks and binders and like that. Like Joe Shane came in and put stuff on a computer and on a screen, and it's like Mara's just like, I can't believe this guy. He's such a genius. It's like it's honestly like the guy who like knows Excel, or like it's like if I used like ChatGPT and came up with something awesome to present to Mr. Mara, and it was just via ChatGPT, and it's like, wow, this guy's a freaking genius. Like, nah, dude, I just used ChatGPT.
The thought process The thought process that Joe Shane basically just went to the boomer ownership of the New York Giants was
Yeah.
like, hey, there's like computers now, right? And they're like, what? No way. That's crazy.
It's awesome. It just took over, forget him, and it was unreal.
It's like, we don't need players. We got computers. What are we doing?
The next, honestly, if you're a head coach candidate for the Giants and you're in the mix right now, you should use ChatGPT. You can probably come up with some really like mind-boggling, break John Mayer's mind with some of what you can come up with via ChatGPT.
Ronald, thank you so much. We're having fun here, guys. Ronald, thank you so much. A lot of missed helmet to helmets tonight. Is Gunner okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he's okay. That was scary.
Yeah, that was a scary hit. I know the whoever their ref consultant
Also,
is.
there's some rule that like you're allowed to do that or something on a kick return. I heard like he's considered a free runner.
Yeah,
so you can't helmet.
Yeah, he said he was a free runner.
No sense whatsoever. The NFL's trying to stress player safety, and then you could but on these plays, you're allowed to just smash into these guys.
Look, dude, I'm not even going to try to comprehend what exactly the NFL wants with these helmets. I mean, it's obviously a very violent game, and they're trying to make it a little bit less violent. But remember, for a while, they're like, hey, the lowering the crown, that's going to be called a lot now. And now, like, you rarely see that called. Right. So it's just like, it's a violent sport. There's really no other way around the violence of the National Football League, and I do hope Gunner is okay, to your point, Ronald. Ronald, thank you so much. Also says the kicker chunked his 6-iron. Dan,
No, I wouldn't say it's a 6-iron. It feels more like a wedge, man. It really does. Like, my 6-iron and my 5-iron, I don't miss like that. That's like you just went full ground before ball. And that's got to be a wedge, like a wet ground coming up playing on a rainy day. Like, whoosh, just take the whole ground, take a huge chunk of that out. And, I made that joke on Twitter, Nick, and then like 4 people made that joke, including Ian Rappaport. And I was kind of like, damn.
I think did I make that joke
you
on
made
Twitter?
It too. You made it a little bit later. I had it right away, and I want my credit for that. I'm just kidding.
What did I say?
I am a draft guru. I am the draft guru. I want credit for it.
That is my joke. No, it was a low-hanging fruit there, if I do say. I want to ask you, though, Dan, say you are golfing on the course, as you're one to do, and you chunk the ground before. What is the curse word that comes to you? What is the first word out of your mouth as you like look up to the skies in displeasure?
It's interesting. I have really bad tilt issues in poker, but on golf, I don't necessarily tilt out. My brother always says it's funny. Like, occasionally I've yelled like a loud, F-U-C-K, loud. Occasionally, very rarely. It's more just like get into this like depressed mode where I just have like my head down and I'm just like nodding down at the ground, just so disgusted with myself and just angry about the situation. But there earlier when I first started, like I had like bad anger. Like my first year, I like one time like I hit like a nice drive out there. I was like 60 yards away, chunked the wedge, chunked another wedge, and that second one, boom, club right in the ground, slammed it right down. And it's not like I'm perfect. I have a couple blowups, but usually the word is F-U-C-K aloud. Fuck.
Yeah. We knew what that we knew what that was. No, Chalk 89. Thank you so much. Crazy how drastically different a team can look with a new head coach or offensive coordinator. Rabel's a leader of men. Yeah. The Giants don't have any of that. Yeah. I mean, they're not playing like they do. I think like Mike Vrabel would be an ideal coach for the New York Giants if a guy that was available, and it's just obviously it's not.
We went into the wrong cycle. We would have had a chance at Vrabel or Ben Johnson. Those are going to be 2 of like the best coaches probably for the next 5-10 years, maybe. I mean, here's the thing. Let's be careful though, because last year a lot of this commentary that we're saying now was said about Dan Quinn. And right now we see that the overarching thing that holds over time is not really coach. It's roster construction and GM. And I did make that warning this offseason. I was very clear on it. I argue with a lot of people over this, that Washington had a very overrated roster that was carried by Jaden Daniels having an insanely good season in that rookie year. And now it's proven to be true. Washington's roster was very overrated, and Dan Quinn is not able to take them above that, injuries or whatever it may be. Their defense is totally shit. Honestly, quite honestly, it's one of the worst I've seen in the NFL. Dart should hopefully light them up. So I wouldn't make the declaration just yet on these guys, but it does seem shitty, man, that like we're the number 1 team in the head coaching cycle this year, like the best destination by far, and there's not really any candidates like Vrabel or Ben Johnson.
Yeah, man. Nope.
Can you imagine Ben Johnson
Mike McCarthy and Arthur Smith? I'm sorry?
Can you imagine Ben Johnson with Jackson Dart, by the way?
It would be nice, man. Yeah.
Not only that, like Ben Johnson with Cam Scatterbo. The way he designs the run game, dude, it's freaking awesome.
Ben Johnson's fun. Like I liked watching
He's
the Bears
so
tape,
good.
and he's like randomly. I'll sometimes just watch all 22 of other teams
Yes.
just to see. And but the Bears offense is something that I always
It's
like to go
phenomenal. It's truly phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Where we at here? I thought, okay. JCNYC78, thank you, said, I thought Dart was indecisive. Possible that Winston stayed in the pocket longer and throw downfield. I wouldn't sign Belton or Wandell. Belton, I can't imagine he'd be expensive, but
would you say Belton? Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as Dart indecisive, let's wait for the tape on that one. We'll get back to you on that. I don't think I can answer that just from the broadcast.
And for Wandell, it's like this was like that classic Wandell game where he had like 7 catches. I think he only had 8 targets, but I think he had like less than 40 yards.
It was like the Jones years Wandell games, like the 8 for 24 type stuff.
He catches the ball, turned around, and there's a
Speaks to what Igor said. It felt a little bit like a Jones type game.
Yeah. Jays 782. Thank you so much. That I watched the game on a flight. The coup kick had me, LOL, on the plane. I've been watching this team for over 3 decades. I've never seen that before. Off of a golf course. I suck at golf. Nice.
Yeah, my friend just sent me, like, during this podcast, my friend Jordan, shout out Jordan, sent to our group chat, is this AI? And it was just a video of Koo just slamming his foot into the dirt. It's crazy. Like, no one's ever seen this before.
Yeah, just directly into the dirt, man.
Insane to watch.
I know, man. He must have, he must have just thought the hold wasn't great. I don't freaking know, but Clarence, thank you so much. That if Carter continues to underwhelm on the edge, would you be in favor of moving him back to linebacker where he has more experience? I mean, I don't know if I would be in favor. I would like for him to, be the edge rusher that I think he could be. Yeah. But you can use him as Shane Bowen did, which wasn't, I would say, the ideal situation. Really depends on how long Kayvon's here. Kayvon is under contract next year, so you have those 3 on the field. Yes, I think there could be packages where you could use him at linebacker, but maybe doing that early, I don't know if that stunted his growth. Like, there seems to be an issue with, I brought this up earlier, but there seems to be an issue with Abdul Carter that goes beyond just what he can do on the gridiron on Sunday, right? Like, it seems to be like a maturity thing with this kid. And I think that needs to be situated. And if that does get situated, maybe we could start seeing more out of him from a production standpoint and from an effectiveness standpoint. I still would argue that he has plays out there that really catch your eye, but they're just not as consistent.
Yep.
Dills, thank you so much, says, if they mercifully put this regime completely out of its misery and hired you guys, what's your first 5 personnel moves? Geez, I would re-sign Jermaine Illuminor. Yeah, so that's number 1 on my my list right now. With the way the cap is constructed, I don't know if I would need to create too much space. We're out of Jones's dead cap next year, but I would look to probably spend a little bit in free agency, as much as I don't want to. I would hope that somebody would fall in love with some kind of quarterback in this draft class, and that I would hold the pick where that quarterback would be around, so I could trade back and acquire more draft picks, more assets to just try to hit on the draft and get an infusion of young talent in the building. But if we're just talking about the Giants roster specifically, like, I would even think about bringing back guys who like Micah McFadden on a cheap 1-year deal. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing back a Belton cheap 1 year. I doubt he's going to want to come back, probably, because I don't think he liked his role here with the Giants for a little bit. And then maybe even like a Daniel Bellinger, but these are all like little things just in the Giants house. Is there any that I missed? Like, the Wandell one is the interesting one that I'm just like, I don't know, because I just think there's a market for him, and I don't know if that might be priced out of what I'm willing to spend for somebody with a limited like catch radius. I would have to see the list of free agents and all of that as well, because I'm sure there's probably going to be some guys who might be enticing for us to explore to upgrade both sides of the trenches, maybe even the linebacker position.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this, the first move, I have 5 moves. The first move would be re-sign Jermaine Illuminor. The second move would probably be to re-sign Cordell Flott. That's 1 and 2 for me.
Flott is one I forgot.
The third move would be to sign one of either Leo Chanel or Quay Walker in free agency, one of those 2 linebackers. And I, in some ways, I would lean toward Walker. Actually, I just kind of want that different level of athleticism. I feel like he's matured over his last few years in the NFL, specifically this year. That's 3 moves. 4 would be if he hits free agency, this would actually be one. It would be signing Tyler Linderbaum to play center for the Giants. I do like Schmitz's progression, but I don't care. I want an all-pro like Linderbaum in here if I can get him in here. And if not, I would just go the route with my fourth move of doing what the Bears did, which is pouring assets into their interior offensive line this offseason. That is a big read. Like, yes, Ben Johnson is doing a great job scheming this run game. There's so much misdirection. There's so much eye candy. But yes, in addition to that, as I watch the tape of the Bears, and I've watched a lot of Bears tape for Beyond the Box Score with Gibbs this year, it is a lot of those three in the middle moving bodies in the interior offensive line. And I want the Giants to be able to move bodies for Cam Scatterbo in the run game. So that would be move 4. And maybe even 4 and 5 if I end up signing 2 guys there. I don't care. I'll sign 2 guys in the interior. My main thing is I don't care about the cap at all. Could care less about the future cap. I will kick the can. I will use void years. I will make a mockery of the cap like the Eagles have made a mockery of the salary cap and the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys traded for Quinnen Williams. They've made a complete mockery of the salary cap. They're probably going to find a way to sign Pickens somehow. Like, it makes no sense that they'd have cap space to sign George Pickens. They'll find a way. I bet they will, because they know how to play the games with the cap. And so I would start to play those games too.
Jays, thank you so much. Says, team was so out physicaled, my word. It was actually scary at times. Thought the refs could have issued a few warnings because some of the hits seemed dangerous. Yeah, the Giants were getting bitched around a little bit. That sucks, but that's not something that is too rare. We've seen that a decent amount over the years. We've seen that a little bit this year as well. Thank you, SCLA Fantasy, for the donation. No comment, but thank you so much for the donation. AFC 5253 asks, and thank you so much, says, I don't like Kafka as OC. Doesn't keep defense off balance, has some innovative plays now and then. Defensive tackle or linebacker is from the question.
That's a fair way to describe what Kafka's been. He does have some innovative plays now and then and some good screen calls, but like, generally speaking, he's pretty predictable. He's runs on first down more than any coordinator in the NFL.
Big run on first down guy. Bear, thank you so much, says, what's your take on our running back situation? We have Scat coming off an injury, Tracy already up in age, and we still have Motor. Is Scat our number 1, or do you draft another running back?
I'm good to keep drafting him on day 3 for the rest of the time, honestly.
Same here. Yeah, so I think the Giants can get out of Motor's contract too after this. And dude, I think like Singletary's fine. Like Singletary, he's a fine running back to have on the roster at a solid price, right? But yeah, no, I'm never going to not try to locate a talented running back on day 3, because look, the NFL does not value running backs that much. They're a devalued position. You can get talented football players who could be culture changers, as we've seen from like a Cam Scatterbo, right? Somebody who's effective, who is helping you win football games on day 3. Like, I'm willing to make that investment in a position that has high turnover rate because of the injuries.
Yeah, we've literally seen it happen in back-to-back years with Tracy and Scatterbo.
Yeah. And Barry Gooster, can't wait to revisit this on NFC East.
Hard Knocks this week, doesn't it?
I know. We're going to be watching that, and that's going to be, oh my God.
Wow.
Joe Shane is like, you got to be kidding me. Hard Knocks again? Hard Knocks again? Last time this happened. Like, oh, geez, this guy can't avoid it. It's funny, too, because the Giants were just so against going into like a Hard Knocks situation for years. And now they do it twice in 3 years.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know how bad this one's going to go, but it probably couldn't have gone worse for Brian Dable and Joe Shane after the 2023 season.
Yeah.
That was a tough one, dude. But that's all of our super chats.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Lively chat tonight. Appreciate all
chat.
The comments.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
Lively chat. The Giants have gotten us all pretty downtrodden. I think that's pretty clear. It's crazy. They're 2-11 despite having a rookie quarterback playing well. They find new ways to disappoint us is really what it comes down to, which is just crazy that's like a true and factual statement. Now, one programming note before we go, just due to our schedules tomorrow being a different day, Nick is working in the afternoon. I have Beyond the Box Score with Jacob in the earlier afternoon. There's not going to be enough time for us to get the tape done and record before his work and my work. So there will not be an all 22 film review episode tomorrow. It'll come Wednesday. I'll have time, obviously, to watch the tape. Nick's going to watch it tomorrow morning. I'll probably watch it after my work tomorrow, so sometime in the afternoon. So Wednesday morning, we'll come back at you with some all 22 film review, and maybe anything else. If probably we'll do something on Shane's presser as well. We'll probably do a combo episode or maybe 2 different ones. We'll see. But just a programming note from that standpoint. Thank you to everybody who continues to tune in with us. It's really great to have this kind of community in these types of seasons, man. Like, it gets frustrating, I think, for myself, and I know for Nick, even though I don't want to speak for him, to cover a team that's this bad over and over and over again. And I'm sure it gets frustrating for you guys as fans to watch this team. As I know for me as a fan, it gets frustrating. So I do really appreciate you sticking with us, because I just know the situation. If I was in your shoes, it might be tough for me. It's a broken team, and they've broken us as fans. But thank you for tuning in with us. I really appreciate that. And it just goes to show that you guys enjoy being a part of this community, and also, listening to us. So that I do feel thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never great, Dan, when the one way we can make ourselves feel good as Giant fans is if we're like, hey, at least we're not the Jets. At least we're not the Jets. It's like once you're coping,
the Giants now too.
Yeah, I know. Once you're coping that hard, though, it's you're in a bad place.
Yeah.
Tough environment there.
It really is. It really is. All right. Well, we got the bye week. We got Joe Shane's presser coming tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll do something on Wednesday with that and the film review. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.